Good morning. It's Tuesday, September 24th. Here's what we're working on this morning. The House of Commons is set to debate a Conservative non-confidence motion today.
Folks,
we're going to have highlights from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
And the Toronto Raptors are set to retire Vince Carter's jersey number. Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us here on Morning Live. I'm Emily. I'm in for the next couple of weeks for Annette, who is hopefully having some much-needed rest and vacation. And good morning. Hi, Tim. Hi, Brian.
Day two for us. We don't clash as much as we did yesterday, so mission accomplished on that front. Sorry for your eyeballs yesterday that had to watch those colors come together.
Lots of patterns, lots of colors.
Whoa.
In your face.
All morning I was going,
yeah.
So what the heck am I looking at here? Yeah. Good for you two.
We'll work on that.
We did it.
All right, Brian. Are people driving safely today compared to yesterday?
You know what? We have a lot better morning than we did yesterday morning. Yesterday morning I had a list of collisions, and some I could show. But this morning, no, we're doing fine. Nothing to see so far. However, we do have a rainfall warning issued for a lot of areas in southern Ontario. However, not for Hamilton, Niagara, or Halton. But for Toronto, yes. For parts of Mississauga into like Peel, Brantford, Waterloo, Wellington, could get up to 50 millimeters of precipitation beginning later on today. We have a moisture-laden system that's approaching that's going to give us rain that could be heavy at times, thunderstorms as well. So that'll begin later on today and then push across us tonight into tomorrow with more rain forecast for tonight and for tomorrow as well. So it could get fairly wet. What we have right now is a lot of fog, a lot of mist in the area. Our temperature right now sitting at 17 degrees, climbing to 20 today, and that's about it. Talk about it coming up. Let's look at traffic, see how things are going right now. Doing okay, getting busier Toronto bound coming out of Hamilton on our exclusive camera at the 403, so nothing there. Just a few MTO traffic cameras, Centennial Parkway, still moving nicely. That camera would just left us right off the get-go here. QEW with third line, we're not seeing an awful lot on the roads so far this morning, so we will keep you posted. Weather and traffic coming up in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Thanks so much, Brian. The federal Conservatives will formally introduce a motion at the House of Commons today to declare it has no confidence in the Liberal government or Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The NDP and Bloc Québécois have already said they will not support this Tory motion, which could topple the Trudeau government and trigger an early election. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has called NDP leader Jagmeet Singh a phony and fake for refusing to vote with him after Singh ended his party's supply and confidence deal with the Liberals. Singh said he will vote whether to support the Liberals on a case-by-case basis instead. The federal election is set for October next year.
Okay, let's stay with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau because he made his U.S. late-night television debut last night.
Folks, my first guest tonight is a former teacher, an amateur boxer, who has served as Canada's Prime Minister since 2015. Please welcome to The Late Show, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
During his appearance on CBS's The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, which aired on Global, the host asked Trudeau about the expected non-confidence votes in Parliament this week.
The next year's election, your party has lost some seats in Parliament. Your party is 17 points behind in the polls. And this week, your rivals are calling a vote to possibly force you out of office. Give the devil...
Force an election.
Force an election. Okay, so force an election. Snap election, I believe it's called. Is that true? I love that. Yeah. Give the devil his due. What's their rationale? What would you imagine a reasonable argument for their complaints is?
Well, that it's a really tough time in Canada right now. People are hurting. People are having trouble paying for groceries, paying for rent, filling up the tank. People are frustrated, and you know, the idea that that maybe they want an election now is something that my opponents are trying to bank on, because you know, people are taking a lot out on me for understandable reasons. I've been here and I've been steering us through all these things, and people are sometimes looking at change, but
Yeah, Trudeau says he wants to continue fighting for climate change, investing in people and supporting Canadians.
And continuing to invest in.
Premier Doug Ford had some blunt words for people living in tent encampments yesterday. The cleaned up version of what he said is get off your you-know-what and go to work. It happened at a news conference in Cobourg regarding housing infrastructure and builders. It all started when the Premier was asked about a local encampment issue in Cobourg.
Get off your ASS and start working like everyone else. Do you know what the best way to get people be able to get out of the encampments, get out of homeless? Get an application and drop it off one of these companies and start working. You need to start working if you're healthy.
Ford didn't indicate how he's going to address housing when rents and home prices are sky high. Ford also said he's going to challenge last year's court ruling in Waterloo that said homeless people have the right to camp on public land. The Premier faced backlash from opposition who took aim at Ford's leadership and background. The Premier is holding a news conference in Port Colborne this morning. Halton police are investigating part of a drug probe at a home in Burlington. There was a heavy police presence on Old York Road yesterday, and a command center was put in place as part of the ongoing investigation. Detectives say there have not been any arrests made at this time and have no more details to share. The province's police watchdog is looking for anyone who may have witnessed an altercation between a man and a Halton police officer at the Acton Fall Fair on Friday. The Special Investigations Unit says the altercation happened in the parking lot around 11:20 p.m. The SIU says an officer attempted to arrest a 54-year-old man for a reported assault, and the interaction left the man unresponsive. He is currently in a Mississauga hospital in critical condition. The SIU investigates the conduct of police officers, and that may result in death, serious injury, sexual assault, or the discharge of a firearm at a person. The Hamilton Public Library is moving forward with plans to open a new branch on Pier 7 near the Hamilton Harbor. The branch would take over the former Marine Discovery Center and will be Indigenous focused. The Library Board says it hopes to consult with the local Indigenous community starting this fall to ensure the space is defined, led, and staffed by local Indigenous peoples. The Library Board will report back to City Council with a completed study in 2026.
All right, time for Sportsline on this Tuesday morning, and we had a doubleheader to wrap up week number 3, the NFL season, with the Buffalo Bills back on the field since their win in Miami, hosting the 0-2 Jacksonville Jaguars, and Josh Allen and crew, they had their way.
Fake to Cook, and now pitches downfield, in stride, Keon Coleman, and a touchdown for the rookie.
It was an impressive display of offense as Keon Coleman would nab his first ever NFL touchdowns, but the Bills up big in the first half, and that was just the start of it. Damar Hamlin, who suffered a life-threatening cardiac arrest during a Monday night game 2 years ago, picked off the Jags Trevor Lawrence for his first ever interception, and the good vibes at Highmark Stadium, they continue. Allen would toss 4 touchdowns in the first half alone. The Bills would score 5 of them in the first half. Don't even need to show you what happened in the second half because, well, I was off to bed. Most people were because this one was long over. Bills stay undefeated. Jags, they have some issues. They moved to 0-3. Bills win at 47-10, and they are in Baltimore Sunday night.
We've only got 10 guys on the field.
They're down in 7. This one is launched from McLaurin. He's got it. Touchdown.
Yeah, the other game might have been the debut of a future NFL stud. Washington's Jaden Daniels had his coming out party after getting drafted 2nd overall, tossing 2 touchdowns, including that brilliant ball to Terry McLaurin in the late in the fourth quarter. The Commanders, they shocked the Bengals 38-33 to keep Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals winless at 0-3. Washington, they moved to 2-1, and Daniels had the best accuracy a rookie QB has ever had. Only 2 incomplete passes out of 23 attempted. Let's go to the Ticats, who were busy on the field getting set for another must-win this Friday in BC against the Lions, but they were also busy locking up one of their best defenders for another season. Jamal Peters and the Cats announced that they have re-signed the defensive back until the end of next season. In his first year with Hamilton, Peters has 38 total tackles, 4 interceptions in 12 starts at the quarterback position, and they weren't done there as they brought in Peters' former teammate with Mississippi State and former Minnesota Vikings cornerback Cameron Dantzler. Dantzler, who was the Vikings' third-round pick in the 2020 draft, played 35 games over 3 seasons, posted 149 tackles and 3 interceptions. He's 26, also had stints with the Commanders, the Bills, Texans, and Saints. And yeah, he was teammates with Peters in college from 2017 to 2019, and Peters said that they play a very similar style. Let's go to baseball in the Rogers Center for the penultimate series of the season for both the Blue Jays and Red Sox, and longtime Blue Jay Danny Jansen making his return to town after getting traded to the Sox at the deadline. Jansen and Boston also not going to be making the playoffs, but will finish ahead of Toronto, and they beat Chris Bassett and the Bluebirds last night 4-1 to open up this 3-game series. These two going to be back at it tonight in Game 2 with Bowden Francis on the mound. And finally, there is the Raptors, who made the announcement yesterday that they will retire Vince Carter's number 15 coming up on November the 2nd in a game versus Sacramento. It will be the first jersey to head into the rafters at Scotiabank Arena. And it's a polarizing choice for many, including this guy, who will not forget the man known as half man, half amazing, giving up on the franchise, forcing his way out of town in one of the worst trades of all time. Kyle Lowry's number 7 should be the first to be retired. Going to have to wait on that, and we'll have a few more thoughts on that coming up in Sportsline a little bit later.
All right, 11 minutes after 6 o'clock. We've made it to Tuesday, 24th of the month here. Let's check traffic. First of all, traffic is so much better this morning. Visibility might be a problem in some areas with some fog. Looking at the 403 and Waterdown Road, nothing to see right there. Actually, it's a little lighter than it was a little earlier this morning. So let's go to some MTO traffic cameras. I have checked them all. They are all there just a few seconds ago, so let's hope they've stayed. QEW at 7th. That looks good through St. Catharines. QEW Grays Road coming out of Stony Creek toward Skyway Bridge, doing fine. I have no idea what that black blotch is. If it moves, I'll get to use Tim's line, it's alive. I don't know, but it's just sitting there. So we'll wait. There's no traffic there, by the way. QEW east of Royal Windsor, nothing to see. Same with Cawthra, getting a little bit busy, but still moving okay. But be careful, mist and fog in the area, and wet roads as well. So temperature right now, let's see how we're starting out this Tuesday morning. Temperature 17 degrees, winds are light, relative humidity is right up at 100%. That's why we have a lot of the fog this morning. Air quality risk for today in the low risk category, so nothing there. Oh, we've got this system approaching. We have rainfall warnings, special weather statements all around southern Ontario, talking about the amount of precipitation we're going to get. We could get 25, 40, some areas as much as 50 millimeters of precipitation as that low pressure system goes by us. Today it's going to begin. We'll get showers, we'll get thunderstorms, temperatures 20, 21 degrees, humidex about 26, but yeah, so the rain starts for the day today. Tonight it gets heavy. We could get 15 to 40 millimeters in some areas tonight. Temperatures 16, 17, and 18. Tomorrow, more rain, another 5 to 10 millimeters tomorrow, so 21 to 23 degrees tomorrow. Some areas could see a little bit of sunshine, but generally it's going to be another fairly cloudy day and another wet day as well. So out the door, 24th of September already. It is foggy, cloudy skies, temperature right now 17. We'll check long range in a few minutes. Emily, Tim.
All right, thanks so much, Brian. Now, coming up after the break, lots of good stuff for you. We're going to say good morning to Louis Buckhout with a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat.
He's in for Emily Vukovic once again today. Also in business news after the break, Cineplex has been ordered to pay millions in fines over online booking practices. That and other business news in 2.
Welcome back. We have Louis Buckhout joining us again today for some Chit Chat. How's it going, Louis?
Hey, Emily. Yeah, it's going pretty well. It's going pretty well. Good morning, guys.
Good to hear.
Yeah. Back to you. Let's go.
Louis doing great. All right.
It's going great. Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm going to go this way. We got lots coming up this morning. Really busy morning. We got a new trailer for the new Marvel's movie, Thunderbolts. That's coming out next year, so we'll play a bit of that for you. Vince McMahon firing back in a new docu-series that's set to be released on Netflix tomorrow. What else we got? We got Justin Trudeau. I know we played a bit of it already, but we got a little more of the, a few of the lighthearted moments, we're going to call it. It wasn't the funniest appearance, but we'll play some of that.
He's a politician. Right?
Exactly.
He's not necessarily known for his humor.
He seemed very comfortable up there, though, so we'll give him that. And what else we got? We had two comedian giants going on tour, which includes 3 Canadian stadium dates.
Right.
So lots coming up in Chit Chat. That's it. Yeah,
that's
it. Nothing's happening. I don't know.
See you at the couch in a bit. Glad to hear you're doing well. All right, good stuff.
Thanks so much, Louie. All right, head to business news now. The Canadian dollar is down 1 basis point, trading just over 74 cents U.S. Gold gained 80 cents, and crude added $1.34, trading at $71.71 U.S. a barrel. And checking midday trading in Europe, markets are up across the board. London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
Off to Asia we go. Markets are up across the board in Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Shanghai. Interested in North American markets? Okay, here's what we got yesterday. Nothing substantial. Some slight gains on Bay Streets, on Wall Streets. But we'll keep an eye when markets open on this Tuesday, September the 24th at 9:30 this morning.
Cineplex has been ordered to pay a record $38.9 million fine. The tribunal sided with the Competition Bureau in a case the watchdog brought forward last May and found the theater owner guilty of deceptive marketing practices. The Bureau said the deception lay in a $1.50 online booking fee Cineplex began charging in June of 2022 to many customers not enrolled in its loyalty and subscription programs. Cineplex says it will appeal the fine, expressing that it was shocked by the tribunal's decision to side with the Competition Bureau. The Bureau alleged the fee constituted price dripping. It's a practice when customers are drawn to purchase without full disclosure of the final cost.
Grain workers at terminals in Metro Vancouver, they're set to go on strike today. The union representing the workers says a 72-hour strike notice was served to the Vancouver Terminal Elevators Association, and its strike will begin at 7 a.m. local time. The association says it couldn't come to an agreement on a new contract after mediated talks ended last month without a deal. Canadian grain farmers have said a strike, it would cripple crop exports, since about 52% of all Canadian grown grain went to those terminals last year.
The head of the Air Canada Pilots Union says she'll resign if members reject a tentative deal with the airline. Charlene Huddy, chair of the Air Canada branch of the Airline Pilots Association, says she will have no choice but to resign if they vote down the would-be contract. Huddy says that's because a rejection would indicate to stakeholders that she no longer speaks on behalf of employees. The contract reached last weekend after more than a year of negotiations averted a strike that would have seen some 670 flight cancellations and 110,000 passengers affected daily. The deal would grant the carrier's 5,400 pilots a cumulative wage hike of nearly 42% over 4 years.
Stay in the air because Boeing has issued a new offer to 33,000 machinist union members who have been on strike for nearly 2 weeks. So the revised offer, it includes an immediate 12% raise and a 30% raise over the 4-year life of the contract. Before the strike began, union members rejected an offer of an immediate 11% raise and 25% over the life of the contract. Another sticking point, it's retirement benefits. Boeing is offering an increase to their 401k contribution rates. But union members, they want the company to bring back its pension. Workers gave that up after the last strike in 2008 when Boeing threatened to move production to non-union plants.
Amazon has launched in-garage deliveries in Canada for some customers. The e-commerce giant says the package drop-offs are now available to Canadians who are enrolled in its Prime service and have a compatible MyQ Smart Garage. It's positioning the launch as a way to offer shoppers convenience and help protect packages from weather, damage, and theft. Access to the service spans 1,700 cities, towns, and neighborhoods in the country.
I wouldn't want to see anybody seeing my garage at this point. It is not in good shape.
But do you have any porch pirates in your neighborhood?
Well, there was a package there yesterday that was there when I opened the door. So we're A-okay in the new neighborhood. So we're good there.
That's good then.
Last week we were asking for rain because we needed some, and the rain gods have answered. We got some rain. Brian will tell you how much after this.
Good morning, 624. Right to traffic. See what's happening here on this Tuesday morning. Roads are damp, but they're not as wet as they were yesterday. QEW east of Lake, no problems with traffic right there. Top of the Skyway already getting slow as you head down toward North Shore Boulevard. Toronto-bound lanes obviously busy. Appleby line now Toronto-bound towards us, filling in a bit there. Nothing at Sheridan. Looks good at the 403 coming up from the Ford plant at Dundas. So we just check in on this camera and see what's happening with the creature from the Black Lagoon right there. Oh, it hasn't moved an awful lot, but I have no idea what that is. Anyhow, traffic is getting a little bit slow through there. All right, let's check our temperatures right now. Hamilton sitting at 17, same for Mississauga, 18 Grimsby, 19 into Toronto right now. Here are our sun times for the day today. Sun doesn't come up till 7:10, goes down at 7:12. Those are our seasonal temperatures and our records for today. And yeah, it's going to be a damp day, and I'll tell you about it. But for school today, we should be 18 degrees and some drizzle for the first bell. And then there comes that shower, thunderstorm. Well, rain could be heavy at times, and 20 degrees later on. Today, we're looking at 20 degrees, humidex of 26, but rainfall warnings and special weather statements now issued for just about all of southern Ontario because of this moisture-laden system coming at us. We'll dip to 17 tonight. We could get 25 to 40 millimeters of rain overnight tonight, and tomorrow another 5 to 10. It'll finally start to taper off a bit, but again, chance of showers and thunderstorms. Thursday and Friday, some nice days, then it gets cloudy and chance of showers by the time we get to Sunday. That's your forecast. Emily, Tim.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Let's get to this before the bottom of the clock, because there's 8 new emojis, Emily. They're coming to smartphones and computers.
Very big deal. They include an exhausted face with bags under its eyes. I feel like I would use that one. A flag for a remote island in the English Channel called Sark. And there's also a root vegetable, harp, shovel, and a purple splatter, as well as a leafless tree that's meant to raise awareness about drought and climate change. The popular emoji reference site Emojipedia released sample images a few months ago. Now, a nonprofit that oversees global emoji standards and new releases has approved them. These new emojis will roll out over the next few months and through 2025.
Keep it here for a second. What's the one in the middle at the top? What's that one? What's the blue one? Like the blue?
Great question. It looks like a fingerprint, but
I don't know. I don't think we got to that one, did we?
No.
Oh, purple and a purple splatter.
That's
what does that
right
mean?
there.
Yeah, purple
like
splatter.
Thing?
Oh,
Which one do you think you're going to use?
Probably the one on the top left.
Yeah.
Do you use emojis a lot?
Not overly.
Do your parents use emojis a lot?
No, my dad was into gifts for a while, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would get gifts from my father as a response. That was good.
Like, my dad is using emojis all the time.
I love it.
He's pretty good with them, too. I'm just like, who knew? Paul Bowen loves emojis.
Well, maybe he'll like the root vegetable now.
Or that other one that we don't know what it is.
A fingerprint.
Maybe he knows what it is. All right, 1/2 hour down. Lots to come on your Tuesday morning. The rain's coming, as Brian said. Lots more on that right after this.